welcome to the APTA Grand Prix Tour presented by our national sponsors Viking and Uline and local sponsor Roto-Rooter. We are live at the Hyde Park Golf and Country Club on the APTA network presented by eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel, bringing you the men's finals between the number 2 seeds of Juan Arraya and Max Pivert and the number 4 seeds of Brian Compton and Scott Kahler. So, Mark, why don't you tell us about our players?
So, Brian Compton's from Chicago, and his partner Scott Kahler is from Pittsburgh. Scott's the director of racket sports at the Fox Chapel Racket Club. This is their second tournament together. They won the Cleveland Open earlier in the season, and they're going to be facing the team of Juan Arraya. Juan's the director of racket sports at the Greenwich Country Club, and Max Pivert. Max is currently the director of racket sports at the Aspetuck Valley Country Club. Really looking forward to the final, Brad. It should be a fun match.
Yeah, it should be a great match. And why don't we see how the players got here?
Take a look at the draw. And you can see Compton and Kahler came through with a huge upset over Hughes and Powers.
Yeah, that match score is not quite right. It was 7-6, 6-1 actually. The first set was a real battle. We came into it when Hughes and Powers were down 5-2 and proceeded to play 4 incredibly good games to go up 6-5. Then it was a good game, and they lost it to go to the tiebreaker, but then basically fell apart in the tiebreaker there.
Very impressed with Brian Compton's play. I mean, look, Scott Kahler might have played more tournaments over the last 5 years than any player in the country.
Maybe.
Scott is a true paddle professional. He knows exactly what he can do, what he can't do. He's added some elements to his game, which we'll get into later, but he's just rock solid out there and always plays with belief and always plays intelligently. I was really impressed with Compton. First time at this level.
Very few bad choices. He drove the ball at the right time. He actually bailed off the net at the right time. He stepped forward and volleyed. So he played really well and really composed out there. I don't feel like the moment is going to be too much for him.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's go through our Viking keys to victory. Okay, working to get them up on the screen. Here they come. So for Arraya Pivert, it's always the same to start with. Juan wants to play as fast as possible. Juan would love to play the game where no lobbing was allowed.
Yeah,
it
fast.
might be unbeatable if that was the case. So they're going to play very fast. They're going to play in their formation that we saw earlier today, with Pivert playing about 5 steps behind Arraya. Arraya standing right on top of the net. And then the second one, which is Leper's got to be active and involved. He's really got to swing and hit that forehand. He's got a lot of game, and there are times when the forehand gets a little bit erratic, and he'll put it away. We saw that in the quarters yesterday. I think that's partially attributable to the weather conditions, but I think it's something that he struggles with at times. And then our final key to victory for these guys, Brad, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. It's as always, you got to talk about Araya's composure and his mental state. He's like a tempest out there. Any one thing can set him off. When he's riding the wave and he's hot, he's rattling off one amazing shot after another, as well or better than anyone can do in the country. But then, of course, with that comes a sudden thing changes and the wind blows a different way, and all of a sudden he's making errors and he's very upset, or he might be upset with his partner. So his composure out there is always a part of every match we talk about, and how Pivert acts to it is also part of it.
You used a great phrase, I guess, deep in the second set, early in the third set, when Pivert went back there to try and calm Arraya down, and he said it's like walking into a hurricane. And I thought that was absolutely perfect. Okay, so for Compton and Kahler, the keys to victory, the opposite, control tempo. They need to play slowly. They need to play intelligently. The transition points, they have to be really smart about when to drive the ball off the back wire, because Arraya is going to be standing on the net waiting for it.
Yeah, I think, Mark, they're going to have to. They did an excellent job against Hughes and Powers, keeping the ball deep and out of Hughes and Powers' strike zone, and then closing in on the net. So even when Hughes and Powers hit it, they were right there to make a volley. And Kahler's exceptional at hitting the overhead, closing back in, and making that volley. It's going to be crucial for them.
Okay, so the next two are Compton side screen and handle the spin. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. Whenever you play against Juan Arraya, his overheads can be so devastating into the ad court. Hitting it hard, cutting it in there with spin, then going long and deep. Compton's ability to handle that is going to be crucial to their ability to win the match. Now, he seemed great, but I don't know if he's seen a lot of Arraya yet.
I don't think he's been on the court with him at all.
Yeah. So, and that sort of just comes into our third point of handling the spin, because the spin can be devastating at times. Arraya not only has the cut drop, but he varies it. He'll go hard, low, cutter, then he'll cut it short, then he'll actually flatten him out. We actually saw him hit a few really hard overheads off the back wire today too. He's mixing that in as well. So I think their ability to handle that spin, it all goes along to their ability to control that tempo. But Compton seems pretty good out there. I didn't see anything that led me to believe he has ups or downs or he lacks belief.
No, I've been very impressed by his play, and I'm excited to see the final. I think it's going to be a terrific match. As we talked about at the completion of our semifinal, I make Arraya and Pivert slight favorites.
Well, based on how well Kahler and Compton play, if you asked me earlier, I would have made them favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with you here, slight favorites, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that Kahler and Compton have lost a set.
Nope.
Now let's talk a little bit about Scott Kahler, because he's clearly added some elements to his game. So why don't you expound on that a little bit?
Well, in the past, Kahler's always been a great, smart player and an excellent volleyer, having the ability to hit drop volleys and offensive volleys. But his backcourt offense was pretty pedestrian. He had a high to low forehand. If you hit it up, he could kind of spike it down with the continental. But if you dumped it to him, basically hit it kind of soft and right to him, he wouldn't do much with it. But he's improved that a lot. He's got more topspin on his forehand. He's got good midcourt transition game more. So he definitely has more offense, and he is looking to attack you more from the backcourt at various times. So I think it's made a big difference in his game.
Yeah, we've seen Compton driving the ball off of both wings. We've talked about, we both like his backhand better. It's a much shorter, more compact swing. Forehand he tends to get very loopy on, doesn't really go after it as much, but still not a bad shot.
No, not at all. It's not a bad shot. He tends to hit it as a roller more than attack it. And I think you're right, as we were talking about before in the keys to winning, Compton's two-handed backhand defending that side screen, or the ability to even attack an occasional Arraya overhead will come to play in this match as well.
Yeah, as we've talked about previously, if you can't hurt Arraya on that side screen, you can't beat him. The guys that beat Arraya, the guys like Roderick, Powers, Durant, Parsons, those are the guys that can really attack that side screen. And the guys with the one-handed backhand over there that aren't doing much with it or aren't creeping over against the side wire, that's just a death knell.
Yeah, because he'll just pound away at you basically. And then he'll get you hitting basically offensive shots from a non-offensive position, and then he comes in with the drop or the cutter or the other shot.
Open 2019 Platform Tennis Midwest of Cincinnati Midwesterns. On my left, on the west side, away from the hut, are the number 2 seeds, Juan Arraya and Max Pivert. Both men are from Stamford, Connecticut. On my right, closest to the hut, on the west side, are the number 4 seeds, Brian Compton from Chicago, Illinois, and the due side, Scott Kahler, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, so there's our umpire announcements, and we'll be getting underway soon. It looks like all the weather has passed. It's completely dry out there now. Gray, it literally would be perfect playing conditions.
Yeah, it really is. It's not too cold. Doesn't appear to be any winds. No sun. 34 degrees. Just really nice out there.
Now, one of the things that we always talk about, do you think that Compton and Kahler will do mostly serve and volleying, or a mix of serving and staying back with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see. They served and volleyed almost exclusively against Hughes Powers. It's always one of the big keys to me is who's going to be able to control the net. Both Arraya and Pivert serve the ad court very well. And I'm interested to see whether Compton's going to be able to drive their serves with his backhand.
Yeah. And I think you made a great point earlier, Mark, when you were talking about Le Pivert's offense. We saw him towards the end of that third set against Frazier and Backer. Le Pivert really coming over the forehand and attacking and driving. He's got a good forehand. It's just a question of whether he's feeling confident or whether he feels it's appropriate to hit it, because sometimes he's essentially trying to manage how many errors the team makes or how Arraya is going. But if he takes his offense out and plays it well.
Why don't you talk a little bit more about that in terms of finding his role on the court, Brad?
Yeah, I think, primarily what he's there to do is to manage the team and let Arraya do his thing at the net, because you almost have to anyway, and so what he's trying to do is find his spots for the offense, find his spots for the places. And if Arraya is missing more, he's going to bring his offense back. Or if Arraya is making them all the time, he's going to probably bring his and let Arraya do it. So it's that spot, that mid-between spot where he needs to be hitting it. I also think, and we talked about this a little in the last match, that Le Pivert is really good about understanding the score. For instance, if it's a love, 30-point, then, maybe he'll go for the return. But if they're down in the game, then he's going to be a little more conservative. The key for me is, and you'll watch and you see, if he's taking out his real semi-Western forehand and driving it, that's when he's feeling good. If he's hitting that sort of continental bunt low, that's when he's not feeling as comfortable with his forehand, or he's putting the offense in the back pocket.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways Arraya is Le Pivert's kind of taken over the captaincy of the team. You're never quite sure when you're talking to Arraya whether you're getting through, but I think that Max has really worked hard on that.
How much of a factor do you think it is for that fact that Compton hasn't seen Arraya?
I think that's got to be a factor. How significant it'll be, we'll find out. How quickly he adjusts to it. I mean, nobody plays the game like he does. He plays the game, his style is unique.
Well, there are elements of it in other people's games,
yes,
but it's the combination that's pretty unique.
And especially now they're playing this formation with Arraya literally straddling the center stripe and Le Pivert 7-8 feet behind him hitting the overheads. You just have to be really judicious in your decision making and your shot selection.
All right, so you see both teams having a little pre-match conference, and we'll be getting underway any second now.
And what's got to give Scott Kahler a little confidence is after losing for Ron Arraya, self-described 27 times in a row, he beat him at the finals of Patterson with Graham McNerney.
Good match.
Arraya was playing with Jeff Morneau. Okay, here we go. Scott Kahler to serve with Juan Arraya. Arraya's wearing the red hat. His partner Max Le Pivert's in the blue cover fleece.
Love. $30-15. $40-15.
3 missed returns early from Arraya Le Pivert. Dangerous overhead from Arraya, but he's doing that to speed the tempo up.
Yep, sometimes it's a bit of a baiting thing. There you see Kahler, that forehand in the middle. He didn't do that as much in the past. He's doing more and more of it. Nice play there from Kahler.
Compton Kahler. They lead the first set 1-0.
Chair umpire Jay Goldman, instrumental all weekend helping out. And big thanks to Mark Keeby and Heather Propp, our 2 tournament directors. Of course, Shannon Vincent, the APA Tour Director. Having Shannon here is just, you always feel like everything's covered. So Juan Arraya to serve.
Terrific. little more of a traditional form here without Arraya in the middle of the court and up close to the net. This is be considered a standard format. Now he moves in front, and they slide into 1 up, 1 off. Great nick there from Arraya.
It's obviously very early, but I sense Compton's a little bit passive.
Very much not a high energy start out there. I think everybody's just feeling their way. It was a relatively turnaround from the semifinals to the finals. Oh!
God, that drive Arraya hits in transition off the back wire is just unbelievable.
Called out.
15-30.
I didn't even see that ball bounce out.
Yep, called out and confirmed by the umpire, so
15-30.
Arraya definitely had some question on that call.
Yeah, that's
It's
a little bit
early
what
on.
I'm concerned about, Brad.
Nope, it's exactly what we talked about. Hasn't seen a lot of that heavy attacking spin. There he sort of reached for it, little flat-footed. Wow.
Great ball from Kahler.
If Pivert can't catch up to it,
30,
it's
40.
pretty ungettable. He made some incredible gets in the match before in the semifinal.
Rob Bacher was saying for a couple of balls he counted as one. Great blitz by Kahler. They go up 2-love early.
Game. Compton Kahler, they lead the first set, 2-0.
Oh, good dig.
And look at Arraya throwing his hands up in the air.
Already in the first couple of games.
Yeah, I mean in the middle of the point.
You know, I think he's wanting Pivert to hit that ball and not lob it. Because when Pivert lobs it, then,
Love 15.
the fast action stops.
But so what?
Well, now you're talking to me here.
I'm talking to you, Brad.
Right. So what for him? For him, he wants it that way, and when he doesn't, that's what we talk about, the
That
attitude.
goes right
the
to composure.
Yeah.
And as a partner, you just absolutely hate to see that.
Pivert does a great job, and he's pretty impassive in his facial, everything out there. He generally keeps a
15-30.
pretty even demeanor out there, which you have to do when you play with Arraya.
And Pivert has seen it all playing with Arraya. Let me tell you, there have been some moments.
Yeah, the type of moments where I'm not doing it again kind of moments.
I'm definitely not doing it ever again moments.
30-all.
Well, they did pretty well at Chicago.
Great volley from Compton there. That's where Compton's got to be careful.
Yep. Oh, great move from Compton, though, reading it.
30,
It's such a
40.
hard ball to take out of the air, though. It's got so much downward motion.
Yep, and it's spinning down. Still a good move for him. You got to run forward. You can't let that ball bounce back. But
they got behind in that point when he drove the ball in transition off the back wires.
You're 100% correct.
Game. Arraya, Pivert. Compton Kahler lead first set, 2-1.
I'm not wild about the decision making I saw from Compton in the first 3 games. Up 2-1, and it's early, obviously, but I think he's got to be careful there.
All right, Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty Platform Ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. So Max Pivert serving. First point here. Now you see Arraya going to work into the ad court on Compton.
He's going to have to drive some of these backhands. He's got to set himself up, take some aggressive swings at them.
Oh, missed it. It's a good little move. Compton
love.
moves up to cover the drop. Arraya tries to push it behind, just makes an error.
15 all. 30. They missed that sign. Okay.
Yep, it's love 30.
Love 30. Oop, there we go. I checked with Las Vegas, Brad, and the over-under is 14.
14
Of the number
caught
of tosses.
tosses from Max Pivert.
Catches. He is exceptionally good at catching them.
You know, what's great about Kahler and Compton that I've seen out here is, you know, they have a nice even way about figuring out how they're going for the offense. Neither one of the guys is too active, but they're always ready and looking. You know, it's a very different kind of scenario to our semifinal with Bacher and Frazier, where you see Frazier constantly ready to dart forward, dart forward. Kahler and Compton are going to wait for their opportunities and take an attack when it comes to
Love
them.
40.
Arraya is donating a lot of points early. 2 missed overheads this game.
Yep.
That's a big backhand.
15,
Finds the 5 hole,
40.
but it just misses long. The Pivert volleys so well. He's just got to find a way to get that serve in the box.
Yeah, he's a great volleyer. Oh,
30.
that's a tricky shot.
40.
Trying to hit around him with an off-pace ball is the wrong play.
I also think at this point in the match, when Arraya's hemorrhaging errors, you've got to be more patient.
Yeah.
Timo Arraya is keeping track of Le Pivert's missed tosses. We're up to 2, he says.
This is what they did so well in their semifinal match. Keep the ball deep out of their strike zones, get back to the net, even when they drive it, be in position to make the volley. You're going to see a lot of this from Kahler and Compton. Super solid play.
Compton finds the nick, and it's 3-1.
Game. Compton Kahler. They lead
Arraya
the
looks
first
like he's
set
still at
3
lunch.
games to 1.
It's a quick turnaround from that semi to the final. Definitely have to get your energy back up.
There's a big forehand.
Followed by a big forehand. And then Arraya stuck at the net there. Should have probably bailed. That ball came off the nick. Hard for
15
Pivert to
love.
control the lob. A lot of negative energy coming off Arraya right now.
So how would that impact your play if you were Le Pivert?
You know, for him, he's just got to stay with it and basically not let it affect his play. He can try to pick him up a little bit, have a few conversations with him. Right now, they're pretty passive out there. Looks like the storm is coming, but we're not there yet. Still early enough in the match.
Oh, Kahler wanted to hit that ball. Great
lob.
Oh,
Right on the line.
and that spectacular transition from Arraya. And these are the points that get him going when he finishes with one of his trademark cuts.
Yep.
So far, Compton and Kahler doing a great job controlling tempo, not letting him get into too many of those fast points.
And yet they're still playing with some offense. They're not playing passively at all.
Yeah, I thought at that point there were a couple of decisions that were premature in terms of
15
driving
all.
the ball. Compton had a short ball, wasn't a great position, drove it, and ended up losing the point because of it.
Oh, catches him off the right hip, makes him
15-30.
flip to the forehand, can't control the pace. 15-30.
Heavy dipper.
Yep.
It's a big moment for Compton Kahler early in the match.
That's it. Pivert is starting to lob and look for his offense. You watch him. He's going to look. Not going to hit. Oh.
Well, you don't see Kahler miss that one too often.
No,
On
but
top
it's
of
a
the net.
great downward
15-40.
drive. It's not an easy volley to make.
That's a smart play from Kahler right there, lobbing that ball. Not getting drawn into that transition game.
Oh, Compton. Oh, look at this play.
Boy, just superb volleying from Pivert from the service line.
Perfect technique. Wow.
Great control, great get.
Oh,
This a drill, Brad?
it's pretty impressive stuff is what it is. Great gets. That's a good one. Oh my God. Oh! That's just textbook Arraya controlling every aspect. But kudos to Kahler and Compton for keeping one more going about 6 times.
Compton
Spectacular
Kahler leads
retrieving by them,
first set,
but those are the
3
points they
games
can't afford to
2.
play. And those are the points that really get Arraya flowing
Yep.
and into the moment.
Well, on that point there, I'm not sure how they were going to
No.
get out of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
once
you
they
know,
were in the washing machine, it was like
Yeah, I mean,
we're in for the whole ride.
and I didn't see how, I can't remember how that developed, but Arraya really controlled that perfectly. Every ball was perfectly played. And so that
It's just
Compton and
remarkable
Kahler-
control. I mean, if you were taking the ball with your hand and placing it down, I don't think you could have done much better.
Perfect pace, perfect speed, perfect spin. And Compton and Kahler did well just to get them back.
Okay,
That's
want
a
Arraya
good
to
game
serve?
there for Arraya and Pivert.
Yeah. So Compton and Kahler have a lot of firepower, and I'm interested to see where it's going to come from against this formation. Great spike overhead there.
Yep. And Arraya overplaying his position on a high ball there
Left
from
15.
Compton. He easily put that behind him very calmly. Like it.
15
I like
all.
the aggressive swing from Compton there.
Okay with that.
I formation against Kahler. Look at Pivert making those volleys from behind the service line. That is really hard.
Now he's kind of making it look easy.
And that's where Arraya gets in trouble with that down-up overhead.
There's that forehand roller from
15-30.
Compton, but from a low position can be tough.
30-15.
See, that's the forehand we'll see out of Compton mostly. Heavy topspin roller. Wow.
Amazing exchange from Arraya.
We keep saying it's an amazing exchange, and we see it consistently all the time.
I'm still amazed by it, Brad.
Yep. Ah.
And there we see some more histrionics from Arraya.
Yep.
15-40.
That was a tough ball for Le Pivert.
Yeah, he got lost. The blitz threw him off a little from Kahler, so it was a good move there.
30 all.
30 all.
It's Arraya taking a few moments there.
Yeah, a long time here.
That's very interesting. Don't often see that.
Well, he's got to be careful with that down-up overhead.
Yep. Nice close there from Le Pivert. There we go. Le Pivert, instead of just going to the push overhead from the low position, which he owns that shot right there, he actually has a cut overhead, Le Pivert, and he has some attacking overheads. You won't see him do that many just because of the role he's trying to play.
Great pickup from Kahler. Oh.
Yeah, perfectly done.
Compton's getting some good swings. I like how he's looking right now.
Well, he's looking, and you know, Arraya's not able to really get him going. He's given too many of those high balls. I'd like to see him go into the side or long and low at him a little bit.
And that's the danger of the Arraya overhead. He hits a lot of the down-up overheads, sometimes to accelerate the pass to play, but sometimes to his own detriment.
Oh, he caught Kahler leaning to his left and slips an overhead in there.
40-30.
Kahler did a good job playing that one. Looked like it was headed right for the nick. Point for 3 all. Great serve, catches the nick.
Heck of a serve.
Game,
I really
Arraya.
feel like Compton and Kahler kind of missed a moment a little bit here,
First set
Brett.
is tie. 3 games apiece.
It's a good game by Arraya Le Pivert, 3-1 down. And then Arraya, when he controlled that point, you could see a lift in his play.
Oh, what a volley from Kahler.
See, I like that when Le Pivert starts moving, looking for that ball to pounce on. Oh!
And both Arraya and Le Pivert do such a good job of moving after the lob before their opponents hit the ball, getting themselves in position to present their offense.
Yep.
15 love.
Great view of the new hut here at the Hyde Park Golf and Country Club. Had their prop, paddle professional, done a wonderful job giving her input and construction of this building.
Yeah, it's raised up perfectly. You got the viewing height, windows all around.
Oh, Le Pivert with a huge forehand pegs Kahler in the back.
15 all.
It's a great shot.
Interesting to see Arraya talking to Le Pivert so much. Usually it's not positive. That time it looked like it actually was.
Great job from Compton.
Great hands. Arraya looks at Le Pivert in disbelief. What are you doing?
15.
Why didn't you get that ball that they volleyed behind? Yeah, I'm not sure Le Pivert anything wrong there.
Great
To be
serve from Compton.
recognized.
Playing a tremendous game
40,
here. 40-15.
15.
Great move from Compton at the
That's
backhand there.
nice. They're doing a terrific job just reading those spins.
Game.
And so far,
Compton and
if
Kahler.
anything, the spin has not helped him. They've
First
gotten
set.
more points
Yes.
from it,
4
Compton and
games
Kahler.
to
I
3.
agree. It's really hurt Arraya. A couple of bad choices on it.
What they're doing a good job reading when he's letting that ball drop. Before, you know, Arraya even made contact with the ball, both Compton and Kahler were moving, and they knew that was a shortcut. As soon as the ball bounced up, he was right there. He sticks it at him for the winner. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
Love 15.
Great return from Kahler there. Takes them to love 15.
Oh, wow. And right into the crease. A heck of a
30.
backhand from Compton.
It's a beautiful shot, his backhand, isn't it?
It was a perfect view of it, too. Compact in front. Ooh.
15-30.
Wow.
And a huge backhand off a pretty good serve.
I mean, that was... that's where he just surprises you.
30
Think it's a
off.
safe shot against most people.
Not only
and
a
most
safe
people
shot,
just bunt the
You
ball.
thought you had him in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, and he just slaps it through the middle, and literally they're stunned. Oh, good volley there from Pivert.
Big point here. 4-3-30 all. Really like Compton's demeanor out there right now, Brad. Looking for his offense, but isn't forcing it.
No, neither Kahler or Compton are doing anything but pretty much making good choices, waiting for the offense to come to them.
He's hitting a few more overheads in the middle of the court. There he gets burned with the down up ball.
Nice. Oh, those hands.
Compton's done an excellent job spiking that down up overhead.
He's hit 3 or 4 of them already. Smart.
That closed by Pivert there on what he thought was an overhead they were going to drive. Like seeing that. Great Nick. Misses the lob long.
Wow.
Pivert's lost
40-30.
the score. Serving 40-30, 3-4.
Towel off a little bit.
Might have cut his hand.
40-30.
Huh.
A little bit like Jane McNitt. He's not diving, he's not trying.
Oh,
Well, you could see him
Deuce.
totally decelerate on that swing.
stopped it.
Shaking the hand. Wow.
Add.
On that long point to have a point for 4 all. Now quickly down. Break point for 5-3.
Oh,
Deuce.
came out nicely for Compton. He actually got a little ahead of it. Great duck there. Great duck
And-
from Pivert.
Such an interesting component of the
Arraya,
sport, Brad, that you
Pivert.
could play one point that lasts 3 minutes and then play 4 points in 60 seconds.
I wouldn't even say it was 60, Mark. But you're
55?
absolutely right. I mean, it goes so fast, and then it can take a good few minutes for a point. That's perfect pace from
And-
Compton.
Pivert keeps looking at his
Compton
hand there.
Kahler.
We haven't seen a lob in the last 6 points.
Nope. They're returning so well against the Pivert serve. They're really just crushing it low and moving forward.
Oh,
Oh.
great blitz from Arraya.
And you see, Compton
Deuce.
was not expecting that. That's what Arraya does. He hits shots you don't expect. He'll make errors you don't expect.
Another fault from Pivert. Really
And-
struggling with his serve this game.
Compton
Yeah,
Kahler.
at best he's pushed it in. It may be 1 or 2 hard over there to Compton. Oh,
Deuce.
Compton was locked in earlier in the game. Misses 2 consecutive ones here. See if they're going to go Australian or I formation. We're talking about something.
Arraya wants to change the ball.
I think he's bleeding all over the ball.
I'm not sure what that's about. Well, if he's bleeding over that one, he's going to bleed over this one too.
You're gonna hit you're not even going to take one with the new ball. That's up to 3 Timos that we have.
Making 3 tosses, yes. Kahler's pretty locked in, driving that return.
Compton's doing a great job dealing with the spin.
Oh,
Well, I thought that was the right choice. Ball came out pretty good, but
yeah.
maybe a 50-50 ball.
I think it was probably a little better than a 50-50 ball. It was a little low, but he could drive it.
Point
Arraya
for 4 all.
Pivert.
Something fell out of Le Pivert's pocket. I think it was a tissue there, or a bandage. He's looking at his hand. It's on the court.
Looked like that ball is going out, but hard to
They should
really
play a
tell.
lead here, Brad.
On the tissue, no, but they could, and the umpire could stop it and play lead too. But now that it's gone on to this point, they're going to continue on. Actually lost my shoe in the middle of one point. Played another 30, 40 balls after it.
Didn't think to call a lead.
Well, you know, we just played.
Play on.
Play on. Tournament
Play it as it lies.
And, yeah, it was a point when 30, 40 balls more after I lost the shoe. It got trapped inside the snowboard, believe it or not.
You in the point?
Yeah. Oh, beautiful one-hander there.
Inside out.
It's
He
beautiful.
virtually never misses that shot.
Oh, great point. And good hold
Arraya
there
Le
from
Pivert.
Le Pivert. He struggled with his serve,
First
and
set,
they come through
tie,
just a
4
couple of
games
misses there from Compton. Otherwise, they'd be up 5-3, but 4 all now.
Le Pivert did
get
this
a
yesterday. I
Band-Aid.
came back to the hotel room I
Dan's
share with him,
probably
and there was a
already
towel
gone in to get
with
you
all
one
sorts
or
of blood on
find
it.
you one.
And I wonder where that opened up. Did he have a pre-existing cut on his
I
hand?
think it was a cut he had yesterday that he
And
reopened
it's just
today.
open. Yeah. I'm not sure what the discussion
Something's
is.
always going on. He remember the year at Patterson where his partner George Wilkinson hip checked him into the wires. He wanted to play on. He ended up going to the hospital.
Yep.
Concussion protocol. It could be a new part of our sport.
Well, only for certain players, it seems. It doesn't seem to be happening to too many of them, but certain ones of them, it seems to happen in an inordinate amount of times.
It's always Le Pivert. I think it has anything to do with his French heritage.
Within the rules, he's allowed a medical timeout.
10-minute injury timeout.
Yep, or injury timeout. And he can take it if he wants. And it seems like that's kind of what we're doing here, although I don't know it's been officially called.
I think that's an accurate summary of where we are.
Because as we're going here, definitely a little break for Le Pivert to suck his finger, I guess. I mean, he's got to get a Band-Aid or something. Or perhaps we're...
Four games
He
apiece.
appears to have things under control.
All right. Here we go. What's great about
Oral.
it is, you know, all the players show good sportsmanship and good patience. I love
Great.
that move, and that is a classic Le Pivert move.
Yep.
He runs up that front wire looking for the down overhead, and he crushes it.
He just eats that one up.
I mean, Kahler's one of the best, volleyers, and he didn't even have a chance. He just turned around and took it in the back. There he moves again.
Another great read from Pivert. Misses that one.
All.
Compton did a good job getting a little extra flip on it. Sped it up just enough for Pivert to lose control.
Kahler smartly lobs that ball in transition. Ends up getting his partner a swing.
Oh, nice move again.
Well, you keep sticking your hand in the bear cage, you can have it bitten.
That's and he did.
That's 3 down overhead, down up overheads to Pivert this game.
And Pivert's got 2 out of 3 of them, so they're up 30-15. Arraya and Pivert.
And Arraya will love Pivert playing that way. One of the things about Arraya is he's always saying, keep swinging.
Yep. No, absolutely.
The only positive part about being his partner.
Oh, it's a good look.
30 all.
It's a good look.
Far all, 30 all. Love these moments in the match, Brad. The winner of this set is likely to be the team that wins these next few big points.
Yep, most matches that are close come down to 4 or 5 points.
Kahler again smartly lobs the ball in transition. Great lob, Compton.
It's going to get hit.
I see Kahler can't. Kahler made a good play, Compton did not.
Correct. Yeah, Kahler's shot was good. Compton's late to the
30-40.
draw on that. He's behind the service line. Bad ball to blitz on.
But it's not the style they need to play to beat
Right.
these guys. That would have been a routine ball for him if he were in the backcourt. Arraya and Pivert switch, putting Arraya in the backhand side.
You got to be super careful. You better keep that ball deep. If it lands short, Pivert's going to crush it. Smart push overheads to the middle.
You can see Pivert working his lobs back and forth to both sides, trying to create movement.
Pivert loves the block lob. It's good work from Pivert. Perfectly done.
Dangerous drive there from Compton. Great ball there. Cut it right up Arraya's right hip.
Deuce.
Well, there you see the difference in what we talk about tempo. You see Arraya's banging that into the screen, giving 2 or 3 opportunities for the other team to hit, whereas Kahler and Compton are not trying to give them an opportunity to hit the ball. And Arraya doesn't mind it, he wants it.
Great digging from Compton.
Oh, such a good reaction. Compton ducks,
And
moves underneath the ball and
Kahler.
crushes it.
And that's what we talked about, one of our keys to victory is you have to be able to hurt Arraya over there in that side wire. Point for 5-4.
Ooh, he airmails it.
game.
Wild forehand from Le Pivert. Great hold there
Kahler.
from Kahler.
Air France.
They lead the third set.
Shannon
5
Vincent out there
games
with a
to
bunch of
4.
medical supplies. And Arraya will serve to stay in the first set.
So what do you think so far? It's a good tempo for Compton Kahler.
Yeah.
They're playing very composed. They're not giving them a lot of opportunities. They're doing exactly what they need to do to be right here to give themselves a chance to win. Whether or not they take this set or not, it's a good set for them.
Agreed.
It's the kind of tempo, it's the kind of match they want to play. And they honestly look like they've got it all figured out. You know, like they have it under control here. And there's nothing right now that Arraya and Le Pivert are doing that's specifically damaging to them. For every ball that Arraya has controlled or hit, they've gotten one back, you know, taking the spike or taking the drive off the screen. So, sticking right here, great job from Compton and Kahler.
Michael Montalbano, former chair of the APTA Umpires Committee, has informed me that you can't call a lead on your own loss of clothing. Your opponents have to do it. I assume that also applies to loss of tissue.
That's a great distinction. Beautiful volley.
Really impressed with Brian Compton, Brad. I think he's here to stay with the big boys.
Oh, I think there's no question. In fact, I feel like this entire year has been about seeing these new players rise into the echelon.
Great blitz from Le Pivert there.
You know, this year compared to last year we saw Arraya win the first 5 tournaments of the year, followed by Hughes and Powers winning the last 6. This year we've had about basically a different team winning a tournament every single time. Smart.
That was a drivable ball, very judicious. I like the decision making from Compton.
Well, what's great about it too is it makes him more unpredictable. If you lob a ball that is drivable, they're not sure when you will drive. So when he does it, it'll be that much more effective.
Tremendous return there. Heck of a serve from Arraya.
Smart too, I love it.
Arraya, Pivert just closed the net up and a swinging volley off a big Kahler forehand.
Oh, I like the way he pushed that one deeper though. Look at that move. It's the same move that we saw Tyler Frazier use. You watched Le Pivert.
15
Lets the
all.
ball drop. It was a great move, but he overplays the volley.
Such a tough volley when you're moving forward that quickly.
Yep.
15 all.
The Arraya at the net kind of makes it more nerve-wracking. You got to hit a better shot than you think you should have to. Nice. Whoa! He looks back. I'm not sure what happened there.
Swing and a miss. We call that a Miguel Cobbs at Crest Hollow.
I mean, I've done it before myself. And somehow it's, You never know what happened.
30
Miguel's
all.
very good at running him down after he swings and misses, though. 30 all, big moment in the match right here.
Oh, beautifully spotted drive, followed by incredible plays.
Great pickup.
Oh!
Lead cord winner. Great drive from Kahler. Takes us to set
30,
point.
40.
Arraya's playing very fast right now, Brad.
Runs right up to the line.
That's a bad overhead.
Yes.
Surprised to see Compton lob
That
that
one I'm surprised about.
Not going to get a much better look than that.
Yeah, but in some ways you could say it's his discipline and his commitment to not playing too fast. He takes that one, but Arraya gave him like 4 of them, which I'm not sure is the right idea. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a great look, but he's late. He doesn't get over it. And first set to Compton Kahler.
Both teams had break opportunities. Compton and Kahler convert theirs. Arraya Pivert don't.
Game.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live.
Hey, mister, are you a roto-rooter plumber?
Guilty.
Did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Toilet overflow?
Nope.
Pipe break?
Getting warmer.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
How long can you hold your breath? Is that your real hair? What's the birds and the bees? Do you know where my grandma is?
You know, I don't know.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
I'm pulling my way in. Oh, got me anxious, got me broke, but I can't live this on my own. Give a little bit.
At Amazon, we've got millions of toys and games to choose from this holiday for kids of all ages, with free shipping on over 100 million items. So visit Amazon and give a little love this holiday.
Welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We are in the final round of the Midwesterns Championships between the number 2 seeds of Juan Arraya and Max Pivert against Brian Compton and Scott Kahler. And Kahler and Compton take the first set 6-4. What are your thoughts on that, Mark?
He's played a real solid set. Arraya Pivert gave him a couple games early. Got back to 4-all. Both teams had break opportunities, with the other one serving at 4-all. Compton and Kahler saved one and converted one.
Rock
Those 2
solid.
points were the difference in the match.
Wow, great lob.
Brad, you were talking off air that Arraya gave Compton so many chances and he waited. Why don't you expound on that a little bit more?
Yeah, you know,
15.
Arraya wants you to play faster, and Compton's not taking every look he gets. He's actually waiting, lobbing one more, and then Arraya just keeps giving him another, basically, hard into the screen, up and over. He's not bothering him with the spin that much. See, now that's not as hard as he was hitting it before. And by doing so, Compton was being, disciplined. He wasn't speeding up the tempo too much. And because he was only taking, sometimes you take the second opportunity, sometimes you take the third opportunity or the fifth, he's being a little bit unpredictable about when he takes it. So
There, he
job.
wasn't in the trailer position, and the Nick wins the point that it shouldn't have.
Nope, you're right. We'll see if actually Arraya and Pivert can slow it down. It's not their choice. We'll see if they keep trying to just speed it up, hard overheads in there, or if they start to actually try to grind it out with Compton and Kahler.
Wow.
What a shot.
I mean, that one I thought was the right decision
Love
by
40.
Compton.
Yeah, he had a great drive. The problem is when you drive the ball off the screen, you don't know where your opponent is. If he hits that one down the line, there's no one there, and it's going to roll down. They'll get it back. Ryan Le Pivert, but hits it right at Arraya, and he puts it away.
Boy, fast
Second set,
4-point game.
1-0.
Arraya Le Pivert. I think you've got to be careful if you're Compton and Kahler not to get lured into that too quickly here.
Yeah, well, like I said, so that time, that first hard overhead, Compton hit it well. But he takes the first one, Arraya's right there, puts it away. I'd like to see him continue to wait and take a later opportunity because Arraya wants to give them to you. And if you're unpredictable about when you take them, that'll be helpful for you.
Great ball from Kahler. There's some of his
Love 15.
new aggressiveness that we talked about, Brad. Hitting that forehand much better from down low.
Yeah, and Compton and Kahler returned pretty well on that first. That overhead I'd like to see more of from Arraya, the long and deep one. He's been hitting hard and down primarily.
Great volley.
Yep.
Again, another great rip from Compton.
Yep, taking the first opportunity, but I'd like to see him mix that.
But Compton was the best player in the court in the first set, Brad.
He was solid. Beautiful pace.
And there's another example of where you think you have Arraya in a vulnerable position, and all of a sudden the ball's coming back at you at an awkward angle.
Great position volleying.
Kahler's certainly one of the best positional volleyers we have on tour.
He's a great volleyer anyway, but he gets himself in places where you can't really find, his forehand volley that much. Oh, Arraya, so good.
That's just unbelievable.
Well, quick bunt lob up down the line, followed by a blitz, and Compton can't get back behind it in time. And then a
Followed
reach
by
follow.
a reaching low forehand volley angle winner.
Incredible. Oh, good hands from Le Pivert.
Great read on the nick from Kahler there.
Smart move up the line, too. That's the follow-up. That's a good play from Kahler. Get it up the line, deep, and look for that ball.
Just too far to go.
Yep.
Good blitz, good setup by Le
15-30.
Pivert. But just a better volley from Compton.
Yeah, it's one where eyes are a little too big. He thinks he can get it, but can't quite make the stretch. Great serve.
Boy, that's a ball you expect Scott Kahler to make 100 times out of 100, Brad.
30 all.
I like how Compton moved up to take away the angle from Arraya there. Smart.
like Compton and Kahler switching back to their regular sides. I mean, it's the reason they play there to start with. So obviously they're better on those sides. And Kahler takes advantage. The down up over had to give them a break point.
40.
Beautifully done.
That is his specialty. He does as well as anybody on tour.
Yeah, the high forehand. Rare fault from Arraya.
Game.
That's a
Compton
big
Kahler.
game for Compton Kahler.
Second set
Well,
is
you
tied.
don't ever want to let those
One
guys
game
run away
apiece.
with it. They were ahead in the first set. They had a little glitch, and then it became 4-all. But they haven't actually been behind at all.
Great rip. Pivert finds the right hip.
Love
Good
15.
spot there from Pivert.
All.
Great lob. Compton is playing a really smart match.
Kahler as well. They're playing the perfect
Well,
tempo.
Kahler always plays a really smart match.
Yep. But in terms of what we were talking about in the keys to winning, this is exactly how you would draw it up for Kahler or Compton. And you'd have to say, in terms of Arraya attacking Compton's screen, you'd have to say Compton's had the better of it.
Absolutely.
Not going to track that one down, though.
15-30.
30.
Even that point, I think they played that point really well. Didn't win it, but played it
Played
really
it well. I mean, he lost control of that overhead, couldn't get it up, landed short. Arraya gets the cut winner. You're not going to win it all there. In terms of the way it was played, exactly right. Normally you see in these matches, you'll see Arraya have 10 blitzes, 10 transition moves, flipping it off the screen and running forward. How many times have we seen that?
Couple.
Yeah, a few, but not a lot. That means Compton and Kahler are in control of the tempo.
Here we are, another long grinding point.
I think that's what, you know, they're going to have to do to actually take this from Compton and Kahler at this point.
Comes Arraya.
Ah, Kahler's got to call that out, though. It was a great move from Arraya.
Perfect blitz, just fails to convert the volley. 30 all.
30 all.
Good leave there.
Oh, and there you see Kahler's ability to just stuff volley. He's a great one.
40-30.
And a miss from Pivert.
You see
Game.
Pivert actually
Compton Kahler.
kind of admonishing
They
himself.
lead
His contact
the
point is
second set,
way late.
2
Backswing's
games
way
to
too big.
1.
He's got to catch that ball earlier, get over the top of it. He's flying a few of those forehands.
Just got a text from Michael Montalbano, very perceptive analyzer of the game, and he says, Compton's good.
He is, that's perfectly put, as only Michael Montalbano can say it. He
The
did all the
engaged
math
Michael
in
Montalbano.
his engaged Michael. Absolutely, congratulations,
Congrats to
Michael
Monty and Aaron.
Monty.
Okay, 1-2. I don't want to say Arraya Pivert in trouble, but Tempo's clearly going the other way, and they got to do something to change it.
It's not that they're in trouble. It's just that Kahler and Compton have the match where they want it to be. You know, it's not that Arraya and Le Pivert can't win a match that's more grindy, but the tempo it doesn't favor in the sense of won or lost, but it favors Compton and Kahler for sure. And Compton and Kahler are getting plenty of offense. If anything, they might be returning better.
What was that?
It's over the top. They're returning better than Arraya and Le Pivert.
Love 15.
Ryan definitely looks a little out of sorts to me.
Well, he doesn't know how to control this match, and he's not. And I think sometimes that's a little, you know, jarring to him. Well done. And Compton's backhand is
Tremendous,
I've seen
isn't it?
him miss one, and they're feeding it way too much now. Talk about how many things have changed in the game and other stuff, but really what you're seeing here is great fundamentals.
Yep.
15 all.
Well, for all the new age components of the game, if you lob well and volley well, you're tough to beat.
Get in position, don't give a ball into your opponent's strike zone. That was a great blitz.
15
Kahler
30.
also hits that down and he moves forward behind it.
He's really hurt that Le Pivert serve. That's 4. Mark that down on the Le Pivert toss.
Yeah, if I had to say anything, that is to me the biggest difference in the
15,
game. The Le Pivert
40.
serve is not held up. They're crushing it with their returns. I mean, we're talking about a match where it was 6-4, 4 all, 30 all, as close as it can get. The Le Pivert serve hasn't quite held up.
Also been a little indecisive this game, whether to come forward or not. There he stopped to the service line and tried to make the volley. Supposed to letting it through.
That's what happens when you miss 2 volleys before, though.
Great lob from Kahler. And
Wow.
Arraya gets it way wide.
Way wide, and that's a great break there. And I think Arraya at the last second decided to flip it cross court in a surprise move.
3-1.
Thank you.
They
Got a
need to
new
take a
ball.
minute here and kind of recompose themselves. I like Le Pivert going over to talk to him. Arraya doesn't seem to want any part of it, though.
Be ready for the new ball.
Yeah, it's interesting. He just got right into position to return serve Arraya right after that point was done.
Switching balls after the 7s.
That's enough of that, but he still looks like
This
he's
is
ready
where
to
Arraya
move
gets
and play.
himself in trouble.
Here's where they've been so good, Kahler and Compton, in the backcourt, lobbing, defending. Arraya gets him that time.
Love 15.
A little lucky with the nick, but a great overhead.
Huh? Just nonplussed. Buying everything back, good position, great paddle.
Great blitz by Arraya. Kahler had the answer.
We use these terms like he put him in the washing machine, he turned him around, he got him moving, he created so much movement, he
15
got him
all.
off balance. And we usually are referring to, you know, Arraya and Le Pivert doing that to the other opponents, or Arraya. And you really can't say any of this at this point. What do you think Arraya and Le Pivert have to do?
I think they've got to buckle down and be willing to
30.
grind.
I think that's exactly it. That's a great Great
Catches
shot.
the
got
beam, little lucky there.
crossbar.
This is
I
a
think
really
30
important
all.
game for Arraya Pivert. I wouldn't call it a must-win, but I would call it a really important one.
They got to stay in there. Yep, 30 all.
Compton and Kahler have done a great job of bringing the offense at the right moment. Not getting caught in the transition points. Not hitting the 50-50 balls. Maybe not even hitting the 60-40 balls. Waiting for the 70-30 or 80-20 balls.
Absolutely. And that's a good lesson for anyone, really.
Yep.
There's no point in taking very many 50-50 balls. Your odds are 50-50. It's not what you want.
And there's an example of it. He just waited till the perfect ball.
Yep. And Arraya gave it to him. So you're not seeing Kahler and Compton giving Arraya and Le Pivert as many balls. They're just confident, keep it out of their strike zones, push it deep, be in position. See Arraya moving in and out, but he's just moving in and out. They're gaining nothing. And they're just going to keep it deep, keep it back. They're going to have to grind.
The Compton's missed 2 volleys the whole match.
Yeah, forehand, backhand. He just kind of puts his paddle on it. There you go. Classic commentators.
Jinx.
30.
Wow.
40.
That was well done, Mark. Impressive. What do you got for me now?
Point for 3-2.
This is big for Arraya Le Pivert.
They really need to convert this.
Just missed Kahler. I think Kahler for a split second was going to volley it, and then he barely got out of the way.
Too many forehand misses from Le Pivert.
Le Pivert is not striking it well. He's catching it late. Even the ones he hits, they're up loopers. He's not driving it from in front. And there's a miss from Arraya.
Ed, Compton, Kahler.
He's got to take the ball earlier. Shorten up his backswing, Le Pivert. Great serve. See, even that.
Game.
He's late. He's
Compton,
hooking, rolling
Kahler,
it, and it's late.
They lead. The
I think they're in
second
trouble,
set.
Brad.
4
Well, if they're not
games to
playing
1.
well enough. The match isn't away from them, meaning it's not working at a tempo where they're getting rolled over or this and that. If they get better, play better, grind a little more, make their offense, Le Pivert gets it out in front, they can make the comeback. We're not in a situation where we feel anything's out of the...
Yeah, nothing's out of their control, but look how fast they're playing.
They're going to have to grind this out.
Yeah,
and Le Pivert's going to have to find his forehand.
Yeah, and to me this is a mistake. The fact that they're all ready to play when neither of their opponents are even on the court yet.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
they're
Steven
just out there
talking,
working harder.
slowing down.
Yep. No, Kahler,
But they do
they're
have a flight to
controlling
make.
all of it. You can take those as little signs, and which you are, and you're probably right. You think maybe they have an earlier flight, Compton Kahler have a later flight?
They're driving. Compton and Kahler drove.
See, that's probably the difference right there. That should have been one of the keys to winning, whether you're taking a flight or driving.
Yeah, even this point, you feel like it's just going the tempo of Compton and Kahler.
Oh, but they
Arraya made
haven't-
a spectacular volley. Just had to stay in there.
Yeah, they haven't done anything, Arraya and Le Pivert, to make it. When they were trying to speed the tempo, Compton was up to the task, and he would take the spot drive at the right time. See, Arraya, he's like, I can't figure out how to hurt these guys.
Earlier in the match, we saw Arraya bent over, in position. Here, he's kind of straight up at the net.
Compton takes the strike there, but it goes long.
15 love.
Oh, there we go.
30 love.
That's good
But again,
for Arraya Le
good
Pivert.
point. Compton hit a great backhand. Probably should have missed that last ball, but I like how he played the point. And whether you're winning or losing
40
points
love.
shouldn't determine your strategy. If you're playing the points the right way with the right plan, you've got to stick with the plan until it's proven that it's not effective.
There you go. That's a good ball there from Pivert. Yeah, you cannot try to do that dig stuff to
40-15.
Kahler. He's too quick to close and too ready for it.
Yeah, but I don't know why Arraya missed that ball.
Well, he missed it because he was moving forward. He was expecting Pivert to hit a better drive, and Pivert sort of hit a
40-30.
dinky push, and Arraya moved into it. Couldn't handle the pace.
40-30.
Ah! Two misses from the
Deuce.
normally great volleying Max Pivert.
Boy, they're getting into deep water right here.
Can't afford to lose this game, that's for sure.
No. This is a must-win game.
Well, he fakes the hard overhead. Oh, he reached for it. Great reaction
And
from
Arraya.
Pivert. That was huge.
But another great point from Compton and
Pivert.
Kahler.
It was perfect.
Just a spectacular volley by Pivert, bailed them out.
You think Compton should have let that go and Kahler would have had it?
Clearly, but such a hard ball to stay away from.
It is. It's long.
Deuce.
Just pops the volley a little bit.
Boy, you don't see Arraya miss that volley too frequently.
And
Little baby match point here, Brad.
Compton Kahler.
Big serve. I don't know if you ever noticed it. Anytime it rise down or it's match point, he grunts on that serve. It's not an every time thing, but he gets a little extra into it. He sees those moments, he plays them even heavier and bigger. It's impressive serves. Compton's going to take that, yep. But that's perfect playing, and there you have it.
Game.
5-1 Compton
Kahler.
Kahler. And
They lead
it's
the
almost
second
like
set,
they brought
5 games
the
to
whole thing
1.
down into a, you know, there's not a lot of cheering, there's not a lot of flash going on there, there's none of the athleticism from Arraya. He's lost as to where to go and where to win the points.
Yeah, that last ball went through. He just kind of flicked at it and
No,
just had
that was
no chance at all.
Sort of an
Give up
angry, like, if I hit it and make it, I made it.
shot. Same thing there.
Yep. No,
15
it's
love.
definitely at a what do we do now? How do we win the points? And Compton Kahler, they're just playing a perfect game.
30 love.
30 love, 2 points for the match.
Oh, and it
Arraya's
looks like
gone.
Arraya wants to make it
love.
sooner than
Might
later.
catch an
That
earlier
was-
flight.
Yeah, that was not a ball intended to come back.
Triple match point.
He's hitting it out on purpose.
Wow, that's a disappointing way to end.
Game,
Okay, we're going to be
set,
back with a wrap-up
match,
and
champion.
an interview with our 2019
Brian
Midwestern
Compton,
champions in a moment, right here on
Scott
the APK
Kahler.
Network, presented by eNet Live. Okay, welcome back to the APK Grand Prix Series. We just saw a spectacular performance in the finals from Brian Compton and Scott Kahler as they beat Juan Arraya and Max Le Pivert 6-4, 6-1. Their second consecutive tournament victory. We're waiting on Brad Easterbrook to get an interview with the champions. Really an impressive performance by them, and for Compton especially, the way he controlled tempo, his decision-making in the backcourt. I mean, normally the first time someone's on the court with Arraya, it's a real challenge dealing with the variety of shots and spins and the pace of play, but for Compton it was like old news. He just stepped up and made all the right decisions. And as soon as they broke Arraya at 4-1, they seemed to break his spirit as well as his game. Okay, so Brad's getting in position with Scott and Brian. And we're ready to throw it down to Brad. Brad, it's all yours.
I'm here with our Midwesterns champions, Scott Kahler and Brian Compton. Guys, congratulations on an amazing, it was really a masterful win. So Cleveland and this one, how does it feel?
It feels really good, and I'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Cincinnati lost a great paddle guy this week. Jason Gray unexpectedly passed away, and he was on the minds of all the players this week. Such a great ambassador of the game. I got to work with him a few times, so he was definitely in all of our thoughts this week. A lot of comments, and just he's gonna be missed around here. So.
Oh, that's tremendous. Now, Brian, was that your first time facing Arraya?
Yeah, first time against Juan. He put quite a bit of pressure on me most of the match, and we're fortunate that we have some guys in Chicago who can do a version of what he does, which is put a lot of spin on the ball. You have to be light on your feet, and so for the most part, I was able to play some good defense and just try to stay alive.
Well, you did more than that. You played great defense, and you took the opportunities. I noticed a number of times he actually was constantly trying to get you to drive or get you to hit a ball more on his terms, and a number of times you didn't take the opportunity. You waited for another one. Was that a conscious effort on your part?
Well, so at 1-love in the second set, I started cramping. So I told Scott that I was going to try to take some strikes a little earlier if I could, but I had to slow down my feet and try to not work too hard. He'd beat me up quite a bit in the first set. So I knew that even when I was hitting good drives off the screens, those guys are right on top of the net, world-class volleyers. So, just you try to put the ball back on the other side of the net and hope that you can stay alive for one more shot.
Well, I think that's pretty impressive. It's one of the few times where I think I've heard that cramping actually helped you play more composed and a better match. But that's tremendous. That's great. Now, Scott, for you, have you noticed you've always had that great high to low forehand, but you're really doing much more damage from down low and off the softball and with the blitzing. Is that something you've been consciously working on?
Yeah, I mean, you're always playing a little more aggressively in practice sets than in tournaments, and as you get more comfortable, kind of bring it onto the tournament court a little bit. But playing with someone like Brian who brings so much offense, I think sometimes the other guys' overheads then flow my way a little bit more than they otherwise would, because there's no safe spots to Brian's half of the court with him hitting off both wings. So it probably gives me a few more looks than maybe I've otherwise gotten. But yeah, I think there's an element of to play at the really high level, you can't be too passive. They're staying in the points, but you still have to take your swings too when the ball's there. So you commit to it and hope for the best sometimes.
Well, that's 2 tournaments together. Are we going to see any more?
We're planning on playing Indy later in the year, so that'll be the next one.
Well, terrific. Well, congratulations to our Midwesterns winners, Scott Kahler and Brian Compton. Congratulations, guys. Masterful.
Appreciate it. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
All right, and Mark, I'm going to throw it back to you, and that'll be a wrap delivered by Uline.
Okay, so our next event on the APTA Grand Prix Tour will be in Boston 2 weeks from last Friday. So we encourage everybody to tune in as we make our road back to the Nationals. Hopefully Jerry Viant will be there. Big shout out to the ENET guys who did their wonderful, great job. Shannon Vincent, Heather Propp, Mark Keeby, Ann Sheedy, Scott Bondurant, the whole staff of the APTA. It's been great in Cincinnati. We'll see you guys in Boston in 2 weeks.